Here we are, once again, CYSA practice exam number 13 this time, number 13. We're going to tackle 5 questions. 5 questions to help you pass your certification exam. That's our goal today. Let's jump right into it. I feel like we spent a lot of time on CYSA. Questions are a little bit more complicated. And so these videos sometimes get a little bit long. And let's try to shorten that down today. Question number 1. A security analyst is reviewing vulnerability scan results and notices a critical vulnerability related to an outdated version of OpenSSL. The organization uses OpenSSL for secure web communications. Which of the following should be the analyst's next steps? What do you think on this one? Starting off a little bit easy. We always start easy. First question is always the easiest one. I would tell you should be spending about a minute per question on these. About a minute, right? I think with Sec Plus, I tell you about 45 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds. With Network Plus, probably right around 30 to 45 seconds. With CYSA, about 45 seconds to a minute. If you have more time, you're good to go, right? But remember, any exam, any certification is about time management and knowledge. But time management is definitely one of the things you need to be aware of. Let's start with D on this one, or I guess I should say, let's ask the question again. I'm out of whack today. Pause the video if you need more time. A security analyst is reviewing a vulnerability scan and results and notices a critical vulnerability related to an outdated version of OpenSSL. The organization uses OpenSSL for secure web communications. Which of the following should the analyst's next steps be? Let's start with D. Wait for confirmed exploit before applying the patch. Why would we ever do that? Under no circumstances do we wait. Let's wait for the attacker. That's like the sheer definition of procrastination. We would never do that. That's god-awful. Never do that. Apply compensating controls to mitigate the vulnerability. Okay. I could see that as being an answer. 100% that could be an answer. Let's put that one off to the side. Let's put that as a maybe. Disable all SSL, TLS encryption until a patch is... Why would we disable encryption? Why? So we're going to make a vulnerable, outdated version of OpenSSL more vulnerable by removing the encryption entirely. So what? Use Telnet, I guess? Use FTP? I don't know. I don't understand why we would ever do that. Jeez, what a bad idea. And then A, patch OpenSSL version immediately. So it's between A and C. If we look at the question, we look at the problem. It says outdated version, which means there is a newer version. So why don't we just patch it? Just patch it. It's the easiest answer. Simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. There we go. Patch the OpenSSL version immediately. Question number 2. That was pretty easy. Number 2. A security analyst is investigating a potential insider threat. During the investigation, the analyst finds a user accessing sensitive documents outside of business hours using their legitimate credentials. Oh, you nasty little boy. Which of the following controls would best prevent this type of activity in the future? Well, first off, he's getting fired. I can tell you that much. Almost certainly. I mean, he better have a darn good reason. But most likely we're going to fire him, honestly. All right, let's jump into this. And I shouldn't say that. That's not necessarily the case. There could be a legitimate reason. There could be. But, man, if there's not, not going to happen. Okay, let's jump right into this one. I've been accused of spending too much time in between my questions. You can always pause the video. A security analyst is investigating a potential insider threat. During the investigation, the analyst finds a user accessing sensitive documents outside of business hours using their legitimate credentials. Which of the following controls would best prevent this type of activity in the future? Implement time-based access controls. I like that one. I really do. I like implementing time-based access controls. It would stop people from accessing the information outside of normal business hours. Let's put a pin in that one. I like that answer. Is it the best answer, though? I'm definitely going to put that one off to the side. Require multi-factor authentication. MFA is great, except we know that they're already using their legitimate credentials, so it would have 0 effect on the problem here. So B, 100% not correct. Disable the user account immediately. Well, that is a possibility. Because they are accessing user-sensitive documents outside of business hours using the legitimate credentials, it could be that it's not an insider threat. It could be that somebody got a hold of their credentials. It could be that their system was taken advantage. It could be they left their laptop in the car and someone stole it. So even though I said it's a insider threat, it very much is potential. I like that one too. I really do. That is a good answer. I like that answer. Let's put a pin in that one too. Enforce a strong password policy. That one would have no effect because they're using legitimate credentials. So that one wouldn't matter all the way. So it's between A and C. Which of the following controls would best prevent this type of activity in the future? Prevent. Well, if we're trying to prevent something, then disabling their user account immediately isn't a prevention, right? Because that means that it happened and then we do it. That's not preventive measure. That's a reactive measure. Implementing time-based access controls, that's a preventive measure. And so A would be our correct answer. A is the correct answer. Remember, if you got the one wrong, if you said C, read the question. What is it asking me? Pay attention to words like prevent, deter, okay, mitigate. Those are all key words that you need to be aware of. All right, question number 2. There we go. There's our answer. Question number 3. A cybersecurity analyst has detected that a privileged account was compromised and used to exfiltrate sensitive data from the network. Which of the following is the best immediate response? Which was the best immediate response? What do you think? What do you think on this one? Privileged account was compromised. Exfiltrating sensitive data. There we go. All right, as always, you can pause this video. Pause the video if you need more time. A cybersecurity analyst was detected that a privileged account was compromised and used to exfiltrate sensitive data from the network. Which of the following is the best immediate response? Remove the account from the system. No, we don't disable accounts. That's not normally, no. I could think of a lot of things that we could do, but I don't think we'd remove an account. Now we would remove access from the account if somebody quit or was terminated, but if it was compromised, why would we disable the account? That doesn't make any sense. So A is not going to be an answer. Disable the account and begin forensic analysis. I like this answer. We're going to disable the account, and then we can go through and figure out what everything they touched, how they went through the system, if it was the proper way, if what was legitimate versus what was illegitimate, what was malicious in nature. B is a good answer. I'm going to put a pin in that one. Possible B answer. I like that one. Notify the affected users and reset all system passwords. Okay, a cybersecurity analyst has detected that a privileged account, one, not multiple, one. So notifying the affected users, I guess we could have notified the affected user and then reset the system passwords. I mean, I guess, I just feel like I feel like B's a better answer than that one. I really do. It's a singular user, not multiple users. And so disabling the single account makes more sense. So C, I like C, but not in this case, not for what the question's answering. Block all outbound traffic from the network. What? So we're going to disable the entire network. That's our answer. Sorry guys, if you're working, that's never going to happen. No. So I feel like the only correct answer on this one is going to be B. B would be correct on this one. There we go. It is B. All right, let's get into a logging one. Question number 4. A security analyst is investigating a potential breach of a high security server. After reviewing the logs, the analyst observes the following entries, which include unusual SSH activity and pseudo-privilege escalations. Be careful when CompTIA tells you this. Verify what they're telling you. I have run into questions where they've told me that, and that was not the case. And they're like, we believe, or they put something else like that, and it made your mind go that way, and it 100% was not correct. Based on the logs, which steps should the security analyst take immediately? Take 2. Select 2. Select 2. What do you think about this one? What do you think? A lot going on with this log. We're going to read this log if you've never read this type of log before, because there's a lot going on. There's like, what, 7 lines? A lot of logging going on with this one. So we'll take a minute and we'll go through the logs when we answer this question. I feel like you've got enough time, though. If you don't have enough time, definitely pause the video. Definitely pause the video. All right, let's go through this. A security analyst is investigating a potential breach on high security server. After reviewing the logs, the analyst observes the following entries, which include unusual SSH activity and pseudo-privileges escalations. Which, based on the logs, which steps should that security analyst take immediately? All right, I'm going to be honest with you. I would ignore what they tell me in the question. I'm not a fan of that. I was tricked once and it bothered me. And since then, I don't care what it tells me. So I would not even read as I'm going through. I would not even pay attention to the second sentence. After reviewing the logs, the analyst observes the following entries, which include unusual SSH activity and pseudo-privilege escalations. I would trust but verify. or I would verify. I wouldn't trust. That'd be like zero. What are they? It's not 0 day. It's zero trust environment. Zero trust for CompTIA when they ask questions like this. All right, let's go through this. So we see the log started on September 14th. We see it was in fact on SSH. We see an accepted password for user John, and we see the IP address on port 60,022. Unusual port for SSH, but it's okay. And then we see server sudo John. We see TTY points 1, and it looks like he's interacting with the password directory. And he made user root and then put it into the password policy. It looks like that's what he did. And then he created a new user root. And it looks like he did some stuff with it with the bin bash, right? If you know what he did, if you know what he did. That line right there tells you what he did, right? Connection closed. We see that. And then failed password for invalid user root. And then invalid user root. And then we see the connection was closed by 192.168.1.200. All right, so looking at the logs, right? Looking at the logs, what happened here? All right, we had an IP address come in at 203.0.113.10. They took the user root and they changed the password, okay? And then we can see here that somebody inside of internal private IP address 192.168.100, or excuse me, .1.200, tried to access the user, right, root. They tried to access the user root with its own password on SSH, and they couldn't gain access. So there was definitely somebody gotten into the system. They changed the user or the root password. That's what they did. All right. So based on that, what happened? A, investigate the user. Well, not what happened, but what steps should we take? Right. Investigate user John for possible credential compromise. I mean, I don't think we need to investigate. I think we're pretty sure that that's exactly what happened. And so A would be an answer, right? I would definitely say A, 100%. Okay. Disable root access over SSH on server 1. No. If I disable root access on server 1, then I can't do anything. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of people would answer that, but if you're in IT or cyber, you know that's not the right answer. Analyze the shadow file for unauthorized modifications. We know it was unauthorized. We don't need to analyze it. We know it was. It was read, and then yeah, and then it was already authorized. We don't need to really analyze it further. We know it happened. The logs tell us that. Block the IP address at 192.168.100.200. Why? They would just try to log in. That's an internal IP address. Why would we block them? I don't see that as a good answer. Reset the password for user root. I like resetting the password from user root. I really do. I feel like that's something we're going to have to do. Is it an immediate answer? Is it immediate? Because we can only select 2. I'm going to put a pin in that one. Do I like it more than A? Because I do like that one. I really do. And then we have F, disconnect the server 1 from the network. Yeah, we're going to do that. All right, so I have A, E, and F are possible answers, but I can only select 2. I feel like F is the easy one. I would 100%, we're going to disconnect server 1 because it's been compromised. So we want to get it off the network. We want to disconnect everything. That's what we want to do, right? That's going to containment. Remember our line of sight, right? Identify, right? Identify, analyze, contain, eradicate, remediate. Remember that. That's our goals, right? So identify, analyze, contain, eradicate, remediate. Okay? That's what we want to do. And so disconnect, that's right there. Priority, number 1, we're going to contain it. We're going to disconnect it. So now we just have to look at the other answers, right? Investigate user for possible credential compromise or reset the password for user root. And again, I gave you the answer already. I gave it to you. Identify, analyze. Analyze. Number 2 thing, right? Analyze. Investigate user John for possible credential compromise. Analyze. Boom. Right there. All right. So A and F are going to be our correct answers on that one. I do like resetting the password. I do. But if I disconnect the server from it, I don't really need to do that as an immediate action. But I do want to investigate John because if he has access to this system and his credentials were compromised and he went in here and changed this, what else does he have access to, right? And so normally I would disable John's credentials, but that's not an option here. Not an option, so I have to investigate. That's what I'm going to do. All right, there we go. All right, number 10, question number 5. A security analyst is investigating unusual network behavior and runs Wireshark packet capture on an internal server. The analyst observes the following. I apologize if it's a little bit small. After reviewing, I have to duck my head out of the way a little bit here. After reviewing the packet capture, the analyst suspects a man-in-the-middle attack activity. I love that they put that in there. Don't do that to me. Based on the capture, what immediate action should the analyst take to investigate the potential man-in-the-middle attack? What do you think on this one? I'm going to give you a second on this one. This is a difficult one. I'm going to be on this one. E is, what is that? Lay my head out of the way. E is generated by the client or an attack. All right, so if you're looking at E, I'll try to get my head out of the way in a minute when we do this. Let's see, can I rotate a little bit? Yeah, we can rotate. There we go. All right, I'll rotate a little bit. There we go. All right. If you need more time, it's another select 2. I love select 2s. Let's try and do this one, right? So if you need more time, pause the video. A security analyst is investigating unusual network behavior and runs Wireshark capture to the internal observes the following. We see that we have a timestamp. That's the time since the first packet was taken. We can notice that because it's giving us the seconds. We see 192.168.1.50. That's our internal IP address to destination. So we see 203.0.113.45 as the IP address. And we can see that it's operating on port 443. And we see synchronization, sequence, Then we see the response back from it because it flipped, right? Wireshark. And then we see it acknowledged and then acknowledged again. So we have our 3-way handshake there. Then we see a client hello. We see the server hello. We see the key exchange. They did the cipher. They encrypted their handshake. And then they did a reset acknowledgement, sequence 1 acknowledgement, TCP over 443. So not a lot of information in here. So, I mean, we understand that it's coming from 203.0.113.45. All right, so they don't even give us in the logging, they don't even give us the actual man-in-the-middle activity here, except that we see the client server hello. We see the handshake, and then we see the communication between the two. All right. So after reviewing the packet capture, the analyst suspects a man-in-the-middle attack activity is present. Based on the capture, what immediate action should the analyst take to investigate the potential man-in-the-middle attack? All right. Check the validity of the server's SSL TLS certificates. Yeah, I would do that. I would, because look under, what is it, number 6? We see a client key exchange that changed the cipher spec and then encrypted handshake message. So that's concerning. And we're running TLS version 1.2. 1.3 is the most up-to-date one. And so that concerns me a little bit. I'm going to put a pin in that one. I like that one. I do, but is it the best answer? Analyze traffic for packet retransmissions or duplicated TCP packets. Why would I do that? Man-in-the-middle attack. If we are suggesting that as an MITM, which there's no reason to doubt it, there's no reason to confirm it's something else. But, that's why I hate these types of questions. But we don't see anything else in there to suggest otherwise, then B is not a good answer. Investigate the client key exchange message for unusual or unexpected cipher suites. I mean, that one it's similar to A, right? It is, but I don't feel like that's a good one. And the reason I like the A over that one is because if we read C, investigate the client key exchange message for unusual or unexpected cipher suite, the key exchange isn't going to tell us that. It's just a key exchange. But the validity of the server's SSL and TLS certificates, that's the actual certificate held on the server. And we can see that certificate associated with TLS version 1.2. I feel like I'm not explaining this very well, so I apologize. But I feel like A is going to be the better answer on this one. D, capture and analyze DNS response to verify the integrity of the name resolution. There's nothing in here for DNS. Nothing at all. There's no DNS handshake. There's no DNS traffic. Why would we do that? E, verify whether the RST packet was legitimately generated by the client or an attacker. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who generated it. It's just a reset. It doesn't do anything. That's not a good answer. F, initiate a full system audit on the server's SSL TLS configurations. I would do that. F is like 100% correct. And the reason I say that is because why are you using TLS version 1.2? I don't like TLS version 1.3, right? If we look at it from that perspective, right? If we look at it from the perspective of F, right? The immediate focus, right, on the traffic is to detect tampering, on a man-in-the-middle attack, right? Is that tampering? Did they tamper with something? Did something happen based on the man-in-the-middle attack, right? So if we initiate a full system audit of the server's SSL TLS, then we can kind of identify whether or not a man-in-the-middle attack actually occurred. And then with A, right, if there is a man-in-the-middle attack, right, that means the SSL certificate might have been compromised or even swapped or forged, right? And if that's the case, then we need to verify the certificate. And so A and F are going to be our correct answers on this one. All right, and there we go. There we go. All right, that's it for today. We'll see you guys next time.